sweet ladies, you're welcome back to my channel. My name is Yinka. In today's class, I'm going to be showing you how to make a ruched bubu dress. That is a bubu dress that is having a drawstring, a rope in front that you can use to draw it to your desired styling. All right, so that's what you're going to be making today. And here are the measurements you'll be needing. So let's get into it. For this tutorial, you'll be needing about 3.5 yards of fabric because I used twice my length measurements, and you are going to be folding your fabric into 4. At first, you fold it into 2, then you fold it over again into 4.
So this fabric is folded into 4. 1, 2, 3, and then 4. Make sure the one on top is like ½ inch more than the one inside, because later on I'm just going to be sewing the center front. Then the next thing is the length that you want. You measure the length, see here. So the next thing you want to do now is to come to the hem, and then at the hem you are going to input the hip circumference measurement plus extra 5 inches. That is what you are going to put at the hem.
Alright, so from the center here, I'm going to measure from the measurement I got from my center back to my desired length. In my own case, I got 27 that I added my seam allowance, and then I put it there this way. Then the next thing is for you to come down by 2 inches from that point. Then after that, you measure 3 inches neck width, and then you're going to connect it together. That is going to give you your shoulder slope. Then after that, I'll add my seam allowance to it. Alright, so the next thing to do now is to input your sleeve measurement. So from that 2 inches that I dropped the shoulder with, I measure 9 inches. I measure 9 inches. That is going to be my sleeve opening, or you can also put your round sleeve measurement there if you don't want it to be too open. So I measure 9 inches for my sleeve opening. Then you go back to the hem of the dress. From that measurement that you have at the hem of the dress, you connect it to that 9 inches with a straight line, or you can just curve it, because I use my hand to like get a curve there instead of using a straight ruler. Then before you cut it out, you may want to measure 3 inches inward this way from that your 9 inches point, and just round your hand and curve it. So from that 3 inches, you curve it all the way down to the hem of your dress. Just a slight curve. You can even use a straight ruler if you want. Alright, but I'm using my hand just to give it just a slight little curve this way. Alright, so we are almost done. The next thing we are going to be doing now is to input our neck measurement. The back neck depth, I measure 2 inches, and then for the neck width, I'm using 4.2. And please note, I'm taking my measurement from the center of the inner one. Then after that, you connect the points together. That is our back neck measurement. Then for the front, it's going to be a V neckline, so I measure 8 inches downward for the V neckline. You can reduce this measurement if you don't want it to be too open. You can even use 6 or 7 depending on what you want. Brian, for this class, I use 8 inches. Then from the neck width, I connect it to the center of the V this way. Alright, so the next thing now is for us to cut it out. First, you cut on the back neckline. Then you cut the shoulder slants. Then after that, you cut from the armhole all the way down to the hem of your dress. Alright, so when you are done cutting, next thing you want to do now is to remove the inner layer. The inner layer is going to be your back. Then after that, you reshape the front neckline. Alright, so we are done cutting, and this is the front. This one with the V neckline is your front. The next thing you want to do is to take it to the sewing machine, and you are going to be sewing the center front with 1/2 inch all the way down to the hem of your dress. That is the place you're going to be inserting your rope later on. All right, so you take to the sewing machine and you sew it with 1/2 inch seam allowance. But before you even scatter it, I would suggest you just pin it with that 1/2 inch all the way down, because this is a chiffon fabric. It moves a lot. So before I will even scatter it, I will just pin it from this neckline now all the way down to the hem of the dress. All right, so if you open it up, this is how the front looks. We know we have a V neckline in front, and then this is how the back looks. The back is just a round neckline. So the next thing you want to do now is to take to the sewing machine then to sew it, and I'm going to be showing you that. This is the neckline for the front, and you see that I've pinned the 1/2 inch, but I'll just open it so that I can first use bias and pipe the neckline first. Once I'm done piping the neckline, then I will now fold it and then sew that 1/2 inch. All right, so you need to finish the neckline first. I'm going to be doing that. All right, so place your bias on the right side of the cloth and sew it all around the neckline. And when you are done, you turn the bias to the wrong side, and then you're going to top stitch it on the neckline. All right, so I'm done now. The next thing is for you to sew the center front with 1/2 inch all the way down. But before I do that, I will have to hem the bottom part also. So first hem the bottom part before you sew the center with 1/2 inch. So fold it once, and then you fold it again into 2, and then you make your stitch. All right, so this is the back, and I'm just going to be finishing the neckline also with a bias strip. All right, so I'm done hemming the back with my bias, and also I've hemmed the bottom part of the back. So I'll keep it aside and take the front again, and I'm going to run my stitch in front with 1/2 inch seam allowance. So just sew the center front all the way down from the neckline to the bottom part of your dress. You sew the center, you know we already put pins there, so just follow your pin and sew it all the way to the hem of the dress. All right, so I'm done making my stitch, and this is what we have. So the next thing I'm going to be doing now is to create belts that I'm going to be putting on the bubu, because we need belt on the bubu so that it can have that fitted kind of look. So the width of the belt is 5 inches, and then the length is your waist circumference measurement, and then you need 2 of that. So fold the belt into 2 the way I've done here, and then you sew it with a 1/4 inch all around. All right, so when you're done, the next thing is to turn it to the right side, and then you press it. So the next thing now is for us to attach the belt to the bubu, and I'm working with the front, and this is the wrong side of the front. So from the shoulder, you measure down the length of your under bust. You measure down the length of your under bust. So start from the neck area and measure down the length of your under bust, and then from the center you measure your waist circumference divided by 4 to the left hand side. Measure starting from the center of the dress, you measure your waist circumference measurement divided by 4, and then you shock it. Then to the other side, you measure your waist circumference divided by 4 also, and then you shock it. At this point that you just mark, that's where you're going to be stitching the belt. So you can as well just place the belt on that marked position, and then you're going to pin. Don't forget the length where we put this belt is from the shoulder to your under bust length. All right, so when you're done pinning, it's going to look like this. It's going to look like this. And don't forget, we attach this belt to the front part of the dress, and we attach it on the wrong side. So I'm just going to be stitching down the belt now. All right, so the next thing I'm going to be doing now is to use this bias to create my rope that I'm going to be using for the drawstring. I'm using a bias, but you can also use your fabric. It's just for you to cut out twice the length of your gown, and then you fold it the way you fold a tiny strip that we normally use. So yeah, that's just it. So when you're done making the rope, the length of the rope that I use here is 60 inches, and I cut two. Then I join the two of them together like this, and then I'll just use my safety pin to push this pin inside the hole that we created at the center front of the dress. So just insert, and I started pushing the rope inside the dress from the neckline. Then when you get back to the hem of your dress, you are going to like stitch that place down so that the rope will not escape back inside. All right, just stop stitch the rope like so. Can you see the rope is already inside the hole? So the next thing you want to do now is to join the front of your dress together with the back of the dress. So match them together on the neckline. Right side will be facing right side, and then you join the shoulder with 1/2 inch seam allowance. And when you're done with one side, you do the same thing to the second side of the shoulder. And then the next thing you want to do is to hem the sleeve opening. So fold it 2 times the way I have done here, and then you're going to make your stitch. When you're done with one side, you repeat the same thing to the second side, and then after that you're going to close the side of the dress all the way down with 1/2 inch seam allowance. And yeah, that's it. Our dress is ready. You can see this is how it looks from the wrong side. This is how it looks. This is the wrong side of the dress. You see how this is how you are going to be pulling your rope so that you can form a ruche in front of the dress. And here is our belt for the front. We are going to be tying it. All right, so here is the outcome of our Bubu dress. You can see this is how it looks on her body. You can see she has not tied the belt, and she has not pulled the rope in front. From the back, this is how it looks. It's very free and comfy. You can rock it like this. All right, so she's going to be tying the belt now on her waistline. So she will just dip her hand inside the way she has done here, and then you are going to just tie the belt at the back of the dress, inside the dress. How do I explain this? All right, so she will just put her hand inside and tie the belt the way we are showing you here. And yeah, that's just it. I think this is the one I like the most out of the whole styling, and let me know the one that you like the most at the end of the video. All right, so the next thing
that's the end.
is for her to keep styling it the way she wants. You can do like almost 5 styles with this dress.
It's okay.
So the next thing now, she will just pull the rope small, let me show you the one just that a little bit, and then she will tie it, and then she will arrange the ruche. The ruche can be only at the down part to create a nice style. You can see the way I've styled it for her here. She can just leave the ruche at the bottom part like this by pulling just a little bit of the rope. And yeah, this is another style. And she can also move all the ruche from the bottom part now to around that bust area, and the ruche will now be around the bust area, just the way I'm doing here, though you may not really see it because of the way the print the pattern of the dress of the fabric is, but you can still create the ruche only around that your bust area, only around the bust area. That is what I'm trying to do here. This is just on that. Can you see? Press that place alone. Yeah, here do that fine. And also she can drag the rope very well such that the gown will become a short gown, and the ruche will now form like a cowl or like a drape in front of the dress this way.
So you style it.
Enter.
It's like the rope I made is too long.
And yes,
Yeah,
this
arrange
is it. You can adjust the rope to your desired length. You can adjust it to the way you want. You can do like almost or more than 5 styles
I
with
know,
this
you know the one I love
this
best.
Bubu.
It's the one that you don't even need to put that
It's
rope.
very fine.
Okay.
Just tie
Yeah.
it.
Turn
So
the
that's the end of the class for today, friends. I'll see you in the
It's
next
very
one.
short.
Please kindly subscribe to this channel if you have not subscribed,
fine, no, I
and
like
don't
it.
forget to hit
that's the end.
the notification
Like.
bell so that you'll be notified anytime I upload a new video. And please give this video a thumbs up.
I like
And
that
if you
one.
have
That
any
one that you
question,
said you
please
like. I
kindly
think
ask
that's
in
the
the
one I like
comment
the
section.
most.
I'll be right there to reply.
Maybe because
all
you're wearing
messages.
jeans.
Thanks for watching.
I don't
I'll
know
see
you
you
did not
in
wear
the next
jeans
one.
and you
Bye.
drag it. You
I'll
like
drag
it
it,
to show your lap.
After I'm going to church back, I'll drag it.
I'll try that one. That I'm
Shoot! Shoot! How about you? What would you? How about you?